it's Angel Vane, and this is episode 71 of my author's diary. I am an author of crime thrillers for women, and every week I take you through the ups and downs that I go through as I try to write and publish new books. So don't forget to subscribe or follow me so you won't miss when I'm doing a video. So this week, I am up to my eyeballs, y'all, in doing revisions for The Fallen Hero. It's one of those situations where you feel like, oh, I'm so close to the finish line, I just need to keep pushing just a little bit more and I can get this book completely done and wrapped up. So I'm really excited about going through and getting all of my edits done, clearing those with the editor, and getting that book out to you as fast as possible. And hopefully soon, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to give you a good report on exactly when the book will be available. It's on pre-order right now and it's scheduled for an April 2021 release, but I can tell you, y'all are gonna get that book a whole lot sooner. So this week, I want to take a little bit of a step back from the writing and talk about Jomo. Jomo is the opposite of FOMO, which is fear of missing out. Jomo is joy of missing out. Taking the time to enjoy being disconnected and away from the experiences that you feel like you should be a part of. And there is a beauty of Jomo, right? You know, and I can think back on when I was younger, and I am one that kind of bridges the gaps of the generations where I do remember growing up not being connected, not having computers, having to talk to your friends on the phone and only getting limited time to talk on the phone. So you literally just had to wait till the next day when you saw them at school and stuff to figure out what was going on in their lives and what had happened in their lives, right? And so you had more time to kind of like spend with yourself and do things with the people that were around you because you weren't connected in a virtual way with so many people all the time with all this information coming towards you. Now you fast forward to now, and it's like there's a whole generation of people who like are kids and young adults who they don't know what it feels like to have that disconnect. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's really good to know that in this day and time, we actually have the power of choice. We can choose how much we want to be connected and choose how much we want to be disconnected, and we have complete control over that. And so really when I think about Jomo versus FOMO, the fear of missing out, and I would tell you, I think that FOMO, you know, it gets such a bad rap, right? It has this negative connotation that flows around about it. And at any given point in time, all of us have like a little bit of FOMO going on with this, and it's not all bad, right? FOMO only gets bad when it gets to the extreme, where the envy and the anxiety about missing out on social experiences or activities or belonging with a certain group really starts to weigh and control the things that you do to the detriment of other things in your life. If you have minor little, pop-ups of FOMO here and there, but the rest of your life is all fine, then FOMO really isn't that big of a deal. And so I felt like I was falling into a little bit of an extreme area of FOMO over the past couple of months. Now, in this pandemic time, first of all, let me tell you, I'm not one who is extremely connected, right? So I'm the person who forgets my cell phone in my purse when I get home from work, and then the next day I pick up my phone and I'm like, oh crap, I missed all these texts from my friends, right? So that's me. I'm like, when I get home, I'm like, this is my sanctuary, this is my safe space. I'm not worried about walking around with my cell phone. I don't care if anybody's trying to reach me and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like I do have a lot of things I've already done to kind of manage how much I'm connected. And again, like with the news, like I learned a long, long time ago that watching the news and how there's so much negativity in the news, it really weighed on me. And I carried that stuff a lot longer than what I should be carrying it. And so I really had to construct a way of, okay, here is how I'm gonna consume news. So I have control over how much news content I consume, and I can better manage how that impacts my life. Now, because of that, I kind of felt like, I'm not somebody who's prone to falling for FOMO. Like, come on, me? Ridiculous. No, never. Not so fast, lady. I'm a huge, huge sports fan, so I have season tickets to all kinds of stuff. And in normal times, I get a lot of enjoyment about going through the ups and downs and the highs and the lows and the sheer drama that comes with the real life drama that comes along with the sports story and the sporting events. I mean, it's high drama watching the sporting event, right? And so in normal times, that to me is exciting. I like going through those ups and downs. in the year of 2020, with pandemic and work from home and all of these other things that I have no control over, bringing pressures into my life, that aspect, that enjoyment that I got out of sports, it was actually becoming too much for me. And so what I found was that after all the sports started back, and they were like not in their normal time period, right? So I'm overlapping sports that normally are not being played at the same time, trying to keep up with all of them, fear of missing out. I didn't want to miss any game, any of the people that, I follow and support. I'm trying to watch everything. Their highs and their lows, I'm experiencing with them, but I'm shooting up way too high and I'm dropping way too low. And I really had to get to the point, and I said, you know what, wait a minute, Angel. In the grand scheme of your life, why is it so important that you're going through all these emotional spikes of up and down, when right now you're not in the place where you can handle all of that emotional turmoil happening? It's not fun in the year of pandemics. When things get back to normal and we don't have all this other kind of real true life and death pressures out there, yeah, I think I'll go back to like truly enjoying that aspect of sports. But I found that like it was too much for me. And that's when I kind of latched onto Jomo, the joy of missing out. I don't have to watch every single game to get the experience of enjoying that entertainment, right? So there are times over the past 2 to 3 weeks with all of the different sports that I normally would have been glued to my TV, not working on my books, not focused on anything, but really trying to keep up with all these different games, watch all these different tennis matches. There are times over this past 2 or 3 weeks when I just literally start to disconnect from them. I knew the match was on. I knew what was going on. I knew that if I watched it, I would get sucked in and like feel the anxiety, feel the heart palpitations, feel all the ups and downs, really trying to will somebody to win that I wanted to support. And I was like, I don't want to take my body through that emotional upheaval. So I started strategically not watching every game and just kind of timing it in my head because I knew what was going on, and saying, okay, it should be off by this time, and then I'll just check and see what happened. And I found that I didn't miss it. And instead, I did things that I enjoyed. I walked, I read, I worked on my novel. I did my bullet journaling, because now I do, creative drawing in my bullet journal. Like, I found other things that were gonna give me enjoyment, that didn't take me through this spike of a high or a spike of a low. And I wasn't looking to those external things to give me joy, to help me feel better, feel good, or to lift my spirits. I found other things that I truly had control over to give me that same type of joy. And so that's when I really started to explore, okay, I need to start doing a little bit more of this joy of missing out stuff. And so Jomo really is about freeing yourself up from the toxic hustle, from the digital drain, from the comparisonitis, and really allowing yourself to, on purpose, ignore and disconnect when you normally would be so eager to be connected in that way, and then doing something else that you feel like in the moment. And I have also found that sometimes when you disconnect and you're not trying to be all up in everything so that you don't miss out on something, sometimes the thing that you want to do most is just be still. Just relax, just chill, just lay on the bed and let your thoughts wander, right? And so I have actually allowed myself to do that more. And sometimes, I cascade through and I start with things that happened, things that I'm focused on for tomorrow or for the next day, and then it segues into, what's going on with my story and what can I make happen. And then sometimes I'm just like relaxed and zen, and I realize I'm not really thinking about anything, and this feels really good. And so by embracing Jomo, you actually free yourself up to do that more often, and you're not worried about what else is going on out there. Because believe me, when you choose to reconnect and figure out what you missed, it's all gonna be there. And you can catch up on it just as quick. You can catch up on it quicker than if you had wasted all that time trying to keep up with it as it was going along. And so that's what I am trying to do more now, is Identify opportunities for me to really practice more Jomo. Do I really need to make sure that I am connected to my cell phone to see every single text that comes through in my friends group chat? Or do I put it to the side and check on it once a day, or once every other day, or once every third day? Because trust me, if there was something truly, truly important that my friends wanted to reach out to me about, and I'm not responding to text, I'm gonna get a phone call, right? And then I'll be like, hey, what's up, right? And so it's really about understanding that you don't have to be connected all the time, and the stuff that you're afraid of missing out on, a lot of times, isn't as interesting as you thought it was gonna be, right? So you gotta be okay. Well, I was making sure that I was so connected so I could make sure I didn't miss anything, and the thing that I didn't miss turns out not to be as exciting as I thought it should be. So you should have been doing Jomo instead of FOMO. And I am truly embracing joy of missing out. I think it is a wonderful concept. And again, it's not about trying to take this stuff away, take all of the wonderful technology and things that we have away, because we live in a great age where all of these things make our lives so much easier, but it's around making sure that you still maintain control over how much you interact with the things. You have complete control. If you're a person who wants to be connected 100% of the time and FOMO doesn't really impact you, and you don't feel any type of loneliness or disconnection or separation from yourself or from your friends from how much you spend online, fine, do you. But if you do find yourself in a situation where you're like, this is not working for me, I feel like I'm getting too emotional over all this stuff, disconnect from it. Put it to the side. Embrace joy of missing out, because that's what I had to do with the sports. I was ODing, y'all, on sports. It was too much coming at me, and I couldn't handle dealing with all of it, and I found myself irritable and upset and angry. And when I really started to peel back the layers, like, why are you so upset? And it's because, oh, my team didn't win, or this person didn't win their tennis match. And I'm like, wait, what? You gotta book to ride. What sense does this make? Like, why is this destroying your day? This should not destroy your day, right? And so that's the wake-up call that I had to give myself, and I feel like that having that wake-up call is gonna help me a whole lot going forward in the future. So that's my approach to Jomo now that I am embracing. And if you want to continue to keep up with me and all the ups and downs that I go through as I try to write and publish new books, click the subscribe button. Then don't forget to click that little silver bell so you won't miss when I'm doing a video. And I will see you next time.